Tuesday Q&A, Tuesday Q&A, Tuesday Q&A, Tuesday Q&A. Hey besties, look, I hope that you are okay with indulging me with my super corny song, but let me tell you that these Tuesday Q&As are one of my favorite times that we spend together. And today we're going to put a little bit different spin on the Q&A. So we're not going to do a traditional question, but if you ever have one, go ahead and submit it. We will play your question on the podcast and answer it. But today I want to share with you just a snippet from a recent role play call that I did with my team because a question came up, an objection that I know a lot of you all hear, which is when you are talking to a potential buyer and they tell you that they are just going to wait until next year. So instead of just answering the question, I thought it would be so helpful if you all really heard just different ways we role played and had conversations around how to handle that objection. So go ahead and check it out. And I can't wait to see you next week for a Q&A. Hey, Real Estate Besties. Today is Tuesday. And around here, that means that we are answering your burning questions. Now, I don't care if it's about a deal that you're working, just a question on how to organize something in your business, or if you just want to dish with your good real estate bestie, I am here to answer your questions. Now, if you have a question, head on over to rosemarylewis.com/ask, and you'll be able to leave a voicemail and I will answer your question on the podcast. Let's get into our question for today. Okay, so the objection that I want us to role play today is when you have somebody who says, I'm just going to wait next year, right? I don't care what the interest rates are, what's happening in the market. You always are going to have somebody who wants to wait next year. Have y'all encountered that?
Yeah,
Yes.
yesterday.
Okay, so let's role play how to handle that objection. So who wants to be the agent and who wants to be a client that's going to wait till next year?
I'll be the client.
Okay, who's going to jump out the window and be the agent? Okay, Stephanie,
be the
sure.
agent.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay, here we go. All right, so Joy, you be, as a matter of fact, I'll be the client. How about that? Okay, call me Stephanie.
Okay. We already have rapport.
We're already in rapport. So let's say we're already in rapport. I am somebody who you met at an open house. I am pre-approved. I'm going to be a first-time home buyer. I'm S personality because a lot of times our S's are the ones that want to wait. So you're calling me to follow up. Like I've been interested. I've been following back up with you. You're calling me to follow up and I'm going to hit you with the I'm just going to wait.
Okay. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Rosemary. How are you? It's Stephanie.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good, girl. How was your Memorial Day weekend?
You know what? It was nice. We went over, I got some friends that live in Winsong Ranch and they invited us out to that lagoon thing. And it was like, I went over there, but then it started raining. So as soon as I got in the paddleboard, I had to get out. But it was fun. It was cool. It was nice.
That sounds fun. Too bad Mother Nature wouldn't let you be great.
Yeah, and it's real nice over there, but I know I can't afford it on my little budget.
Okay, well, I was calling to check in with you. I saw that you heard of some properties, and I would love for us to go take a look at them. I was seeing if you had availability on Wednesday.
You know what? I did. Like I saw some ones that I really, really liked. They are really nice. But I was talking to my cousin and she was telling me that with interest rates and with everything going on, and I keep hearing that the market gonna crash. I'm probably gonna wait until next year. Because I'm seeing stuff, but I don't necessarily want to go all the way out to Anna. Like I do like those houses, but my family, my friends, everybody live up in like Frisco and Plano area. So I think I'm just going to renew my lease in August and then just revisit next year when the rates come down.
Okay. Can I ask, how do you know if the rates are gonna come down?
Because my cousins and them said it.
Well, I wish I had the same crystal ball your cousins and them had, because right now, honestly, as a real estate agent, I don't know what the rates are going to be next year. There is something that fluctuates. And then also, I want you to think about as well, while we're making these decisions, how much are they raising your rent for your next lease?
Well, I don't know yet. I haven't gotten my renewal, but my rent right now is $1,600. So I'm figuring that worst case scenario, like everything we've been looking at, and even when I talked to the lender lady you had me talk to, and she was real nice, but like the lowest that it looked like I'm gonna be able to pay is 2,200. And I mean, I can afford it, but if the rates come down, it'll help me out a lot. So I think that's what I'm just gonna do. And then me and my cousin, she said I might even get married by next year. So you never know.
Okay. You have a boyfriend?
I'm on sites.
Okay, well, one thing that I like people to do is like really weigh the pros and cons. And so, yes, you have your apartment. It may be lower in rent right now. However, one thing that I know about the housing market, especially in our area, is that homes are appreciating, which means
Hmm.
that you may have to pay more on a mortgage, but you're paying into your equity. So even if you like get your starter home, we love it, but in 2 years you find out you want to move, more likely going to have a nice little nest egg in that house. And
Hmm.
you can go into not a better house, but something that you might want closer to Plano or Frisco as well. And then also just looking into the different industries moving into the North Dallas area. Like, as you know, PGA just got here. Universal was talking about building their amusement park. We have some IT companies coming this way as well. So one thing that I always like to say is like, follow the money. People of the businesses are coming here. That means the people are coming here, which means there's no guarantee that when the interest rates, if they go down, you might still be paying the same amount of money for the house that you would today, because inflation, not inflation, but like the sales of the home may increase. So it's a lot of maze and possibilities in there that I want you to
And
think
that's what I'm
about.
saying. I just don't know. It's just also confusing. Like, I really appreciate everything you have done and been sending me stuff. And I
Mhm.
promise you, when I do buy, like, I am go buy with you. It's just, I just don't know what to do. So, when I don't know what to do, I just feel like, I don't want to make no rush decision. And like you saying, like, all of them businesses coming here. So, like, will I even be able to compete? I don't know, girl. Some days I feel like I should just go back to Louisiana.
I get it that it could be a lot, right? Because how often do you buy something worth six figures? You know, it's a lot, it's a process. And I definitely want to make sure that whatever we do makes financial sense to you.
Mhm.
So I definitely would like to, like, if we can, I always tell people, like, let's do this. Let's weigh the pros and cons. I like to write things down. I don't know how you are. And like, what's the pros and cons for waiting versus the pros and cons for going right now?
Okay. That I mean, that's I like that idea. And then
Okay.
just seeing. So I just do that, and then I'll call you like later if I feel
Okay.
like it's a pro.
Okay, perfect. Tell you what, I'll check in with you on Monday, and then that way we can just go over everything. And then if you decide to wait, you decide to wait. If you ready, you're ready, you know? And I'll just talk to you on Monday.
Okay. Thanks, Stephanie. You have a good weekend too. Okay.
You too, Rosemary. Take care.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye. You caught me off guard with the move back to Louisiana thing.
Well, I did that because remember you had that one lady that did move back to Louisiana.
She sure did. In the middle of our showing.
That I mean that happens. Because you don't know, because the reality is that affordability is tough for people here.
Hmm.
you know so that is a real concern that we cannot dismiss. Okay, but let's get feedback. Ladies, y'all have feedback for Stephanie?
I just recall you last week, Rosemary, when we did a similar role play, you mentioned that waiting put you in a situation where you're priced out. So something that you could possibly afford today, even with interest rates being higher, may not be the case if you wait.
Hmm. Stephanie kind of said that, but she didn't say it as straightforward as
Some
that.
words,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You
Um,
said it in realtor language, in real estate language, that somebody may not understand. You know what I'm saying? Like equity and appreciation, and like we all understand we priced out. So when house prices go up, even with the lower interest rates, sis, it might be a situation where you won't be able to buy what you can buy. And that will break my heart.
Okay.
So you said it, it's just how you said it.
Yeah, I need to be more, not less professional, but less
That's
realtor.
more relatable.
There we go. Yeah.
A little bit more relatable. And let me ask you a question. Were you nervous as you were talking?
A little bit.
Like I almost heard like it wasn't fluid because it was almost like you were trying to find the right words.
I was
Okay.
trying to find the right words.
Well, you can't be afraid of, like, it's a way to, not that you're being offensive, but like, look, girl, look, Rosemary, let me take time. I completely understand it. With all due respect to your cousin, I don't know how she know about rates because I don't, right? I don't even think the feds know what's gonna happen, right? So we can't go off of shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but what we do need to do is really look at what makes sense right now. And this is my thing, and here is my position for you, girlfriend, is that if I'm telling everybody, if you can buy in this market where businesses are coming, where it has shown nothing but growth, it's definitely worth exploring and buying if you can, right? Because you got to pay to live anyway. But if it doesn't make sense for you, it doesn't make sense. But I have to do my job and let you know, like, hey, I think you strongly should look at it, because I've had people who literally bought a house, stayed in it for a year or two, and are now walking away with 5 and 6 figure checks when they sell.
Mm.
I don't have a crystal ball, but I guarantee that's not going to happen at your apartment, right? And whatever you decide, I want it to make sense for you. But with all due respect, is your cousin a realtor? Does she own a house? Has she bought in the last 24 months? Okay. I love her. I know you love your cousin. I love my cousins, them too. But I can't trust them with everything in my life. You got to do your own due diligence. And that's what I'm here to help you do.
Mm-hmm. That was good. Like you laid out the information and you said it straightforward, but it wasn't matter of factly. Like it wasn't like rude.
Mm-mm. And that's the thing. I think sometimes we get so like we almost want to, we don't want to offend, but we want to step on some toes. Like I want to get off the phone with giving you something to think about. And the reality is that you're still going to have people that's going to wait a year or two or not be able to buy it all. But we are going to have the conversation in a way. So I want to point that out. Let me just repeat that again. Because you can lay it out just as matter-of-factly and plainly as ever, but they're still going to decide, I'm still going to wait. So it's not a loss if they decide that, right? You still stay in touch, you nurture, you help create this invisible bridge to get them from one train of thought to the next train of thought. But we can definitely have that conversation very matter of fact without offending, but definitely like I want her to be at work thinking like, man, in 2 years, she right. I ain't gonna get no money from my apartment. I don't care when I move. I'm never gonna make money from my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want that to ring in her ear later, to plant that seed for later.
That's good. And then I was one thing too, I was thinking about, but I didn't say it because I didn't know how to word it in there, because I was like going to use myself as an example, because I know for a fact that like when we purchase versus if we were to go with the same budget now, I wouldn't be able to afford my house.
$1 million. And you say it just like that. You see how you just said it?
Yeah.
You say it just like that, like, girl, let me tell you something. And you give the real life example. Like I give that same example with me, because when we bought this house, we bought it at 7%. And I was like kicking and screaming at the closing table, and Corey like, nah, we go do it. I'm so glad we did, because now my price of my house is double. And you can say the same thing, like my husband was reluctant. He kind of wants to wait 6 more months. But when I tell you that the timing, and we have to be a little bit careful on how we say it, because we don't want to say it to the point they feel like they missed their time because we got in early. But like, girl, if I tell you that the timing was impeccable, because had we waited, then it wouldn't have been a possibility. And this is what I see, right? Like, they say like the first best time to buy real estate was yesterday. The next best time is today.
Okay. So I have a question. So then like, I know it just comes with practice and everything else. Because I don't know how the other girls feel, but like it is a little nervous. Like if I'm being honest, like just thinking about it, having that conversation, it makes me nervous, just because, like you said, we don't want to step on nobody's toes or be disrespectful of their situations and stuff.
Yeah. Did you feel like I was being disrespectful?
I did not feel like you're being disrespectful. No.
So I guess the thing is like when you know the intent. Now we do have to be aware of how we say things, right? Because sometimes you can say stuff that can be offensive. So, inserting some humor, might be a thing. Like, girl, I love your cousin. However, like even you heard my however, it's like, however. So that's just letting her know, like, hey, I'm softening the blow. And then just letting her know, like, hey, I just have a deal, I am working for you. So it's my job to let you know what's up, right? And whatever you decide, like let's say, whatever you decide, girl, when I say I'm your homegirl for life, I mean it. Like I have people that I have worked with and they didn't buy a house for 6 years and then finally ended up buying one and we stayed in contact. So whatever that looks like for you, I'm here to help you. However, I promise you, them people that waited 6 years to buy, so if I put you on the phone with her right now, they will be like, you know what? Even if we would have bought that house 6 years ago and sold it and bought this house, I wish would have at least explored. And I'm going to remove myself from it. Like, not saying I wish we would have listened to Rosemary. They wish they would have explored the opportunity because, there was opportunity there. And that's all I want you to do. I just want you to explore and see what makes sense. And if home ownership truly is your goal, then and you are in position to do it right now, you're not married to any home, but it's going to provide you options later for your future. And I want you to make sure that you are looking into what those options are. And if you explore it and it's not for you, it's not for you. But I wouldn't be doing my job if I wasn't at least encouraging you to explore, because here's what I do know, right? Is that you're already paying a mortgage, you're just not paying your own.
Right.
Anybody living in North Dallas paying a whole mortgage. Now, it's just whether or not you are reaping the benefits of that mortgage. Okay, and I'm done. See y'all later. I'm headed to the office. Anybody will be there. All right. Bye, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode and you have a real life bestie that you think it would resonate with, y'all, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that share button, because you know what? We are better together. Make sure you share the podcast, and I appreciate your reviews. I appreciate you giving me 5 stars more than you know. I'll talk to you next week.